Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm Emma and today we're going to be working on core and upper body strength for our yoga practice. Now, core and upper body strength is pretty much sprinkled into all yoga flows and practices, but today we're going to be looking at the specifics. So if you're ready to get started, go ahead and roll out your mat and let's begin. Okay, as per the usual, we're going to start seated, so find your comfortable seated position, whether it's cross-legged or kneeling. And today we want to really focus on warming up the upper body. We're not going to spend too much time on the upper body strength part, more so on the core, because upper body comes naturally as you practice, but we're going to look at the key principles and where we will need upper body strength in our yoga practice. So to begin, close the eyes, roll the shoulder blades back, make sure you find your good posture, gently tucking the ribs in already, just gently engaging that core with that tuck. Close the eyes, take 2 or 3 deep breaths just to settle in. And as you do this, you can start to add in the wrist rolls, the wrist warm-ups here. Keep breathing slowly. Good. Bring your awareness to the practice. Try and focus on the now. Don't let any nagging thoughts of work or what you have to do this week kind of, what is that word? Creep their way in. Good. Okay. So from here, go ahead and come forward. Let's press those palms on the ground. We're just going to lift the base of the palm up and press it back down a couple more like this. So most of yoga, the core, or most of yoga includes isometric core holds, so squeezing and holding and not lengthening or shortening the muscle. An isometric hold is just keeping the muscle the same length. And so today we'll be looking at how we can do that in our yoga practice. Go ahead and flip the palms for me now. Come up onto the toes if you can and continue to lift and lower. Keep a micro bend in the elbows. Good. However, there are also many ways to use the core. So the back is part of the core. We can't forget the side of our core, the obliques. And there's other ways to move the core laterally. Then we have crunching. And then you have things like the leg raises, which strengthen the lower part of the abs and help strengthen for those holds like handstands. So we're gonna go through all of those today. Good. Now the wrists are a little more warmed up. Go ahead and move into the arms. So add a couple little fun arm sways here. Then we're gonna place the right hand down. Inhale, lift the left arm up. Left side stretch, but just briefly. Exhale, left hand down. Inhale, right arm up. Briefly. So we're gonna pick the pace up a little today. Over the next, or the later flows, we're going to start to speed up very slightly as we get into the yoga flows part of it. So here's a little taste of a more dynamic movement. Keep swapping arms. Inhale to reach. Exhale when you get there, or bring the arm down. Good, now forwards. Let the ribs come up. Exhale. Pull the belly button in. Inhale. Relax the core. Let the ribs come up. Exhale. Pull the belly button in. Inhale. So this actually uses the back muscles to extend. Exhale. Using the core muscles in, just like a cat-cow. Good, last one. Nice, all right, bring it forward. We're coming into our tabletop position. Wrists under the shoulders, knees under the hips. And then from here, we're going into our first isometric hold. So you've met this pose before. This is our plank pose. Tuck the pelvis under, but just think about the core a little more closely today. So the core is here to stabilize us. So we're not like flooping all around here. It's stabilizing us and holding us steady. One thing people tend to do is dome out. They just squeeze. However, For this, we want to pull the belly button into our body and engage the deep core. Okay, so pull it in from here. Try not to let that lower belly dome today. Good. Hold one more breath. And exhale, lift the hips up. Good, entering downward dog. So here's another part where we need our upper body strength. We can relax the core a little bit here. You can pull it in if you want to, but it's good to give it some time, some rest in between the poses today. But here in our downward dog, we want to push into the ground, a little micro bend in the knees. We should hardly ever be locking our joints in yoga, so just add a little bit of micro bend here. But really rotate those hands into the ground and press with the shoulder blades today. Work into that upper body strength. Good, take 2 or 3 breaths. Press in. Press, press, press. Good, okay. So from here, inhale, come forward. So this is one of the most used upper body movements in yoga, and it's called, we've done it before, we did it during the flow, but it's called chaturanga. So what we want to do is shift forward. From here, bring the knees down just to begin, because that's a really good place to start. We want to shift forward, bend at the elbows, bring it back towards the hips, bring the lower body down till we're about parallel, okay? Then let the hips drop and lower. So what that looks like in the flow is like so. So you come down from plank forwards, knees can come down, lower, okay? Inhale, lift to your cobra and back. So one more time. This time you can do it with me. Option to bring those knees down or keep them lifted. Here we go, inhale. On the exhale, bring the knees down, lower, pull those elbows in tight, 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 press. Inhale, lift, upward dog or lower to the mat, and lift to cobra. Upward dog again is keeping those thighs off the mat. Good, exhale, hips up, downward dog. Let's do it one more time. Inhale, roll forward, knees down or keep them up. Elbows tuck in tight next to the body. This time the shoulders go over the wrists. Lower, lift, and downward dog, good job. Whew, take a rest, a couple deep breaths. Good, and release, bring those knees down, return down to your tabletop position. So already we're starting to use the core in various ways, and that first is stability we're finding in the plank. Okay, relax a little longer. We're gonna take it easy, we're gonna take it step by step today. Good, all right, lift back up into that plank. So in weightlifting, they often tell you to brace your core. There's even like a maneuver that we use, which is like pressing outwards and bracing the core. But today we do the opposite. In yoga generally, we pull inward for deep core engagement. Whereas if you're weightlifting, you want that outward pressure, that pressure of the core to keep you steady as you're lifting those weights up heavy. So if you do a bit of weightlifting, it'll be a slightly different type of core engagement in yoga. Good, hold. All right, now I'm sure we're sick of the high plank. Rest down into your child's pose. Bring those elbows onto the mat, and we're gonna walk the hands slightly forward. From here, allow the knees again to come right under the hips. Deep breath in. Exhale, lift into your low plank. Good, if at any point you get tired, you can bring those knees down. Just try and keep a slant in the body so we're not totally relaxed in tabletop. Try and use that core. Okay, elbows right under the shoulders this time, not the wrists. Deep breath. Press into the ground. Try not to collapse. Press, press, press. Good, and release. Nice job. Let those hands come back. Relax into your child's pose for just a moment. Two or three breaths. Good, bring it back forward. All right, bring those elbows back down. One more low plank, lift. This time, we're gonna try and press with the shoulder blades and pull the core in, and then begin start to lift the hips. So the core will try and it'll slightly relax here. That's okay. Just try and keep the belly button gently in. We're really not straining here. And we're gonna send the chest towards the legs. Micro bend in the knees or full bend for those hamstrings, but really press with the shoulder blades. This one's called Dolphin pose, so it's a bit different than our downward dog. It feels a bit more intense on the shoulders often. But press, press, press. That's really good for our shoulder stand. In the future, if we get into inversions, or if you get into your inversions, this will be key for the shoulder stand. Good press. Nice. Go ahead and release. Sit back on top of the legs, shake those arms out. So it gets quite intense, those holds. You really need to, it's okay if you're shaking, it's okay if it's difficult. Over time, it'll just become much more natural. All right, a good goal to aim for is about holding the high plank, the first pose we did, for about a minute. Okay, now from here, place those hands down. All right, so not only is the tummy muscles, what we call, or what we generally think of the core, and the back is not only part of the core, but also the hip flexor. So from here, go ahead and pull that right knee up into your chest, squeeze, drop it back down. So that's helping us bring the legs up, squeeze that left leg up. We're just doing 4 marches here, 1 on the right side, and last one on the left. Good. From here, place the left hand into the middle. Now, if your arms are already feeling tired, bring that bottom knee down, okay? We're coming into a side plank, so you can bring that bottom knee down just to rest. But if you want to give the full one a go, then 1 foot in front of the other. First option. Option 2, stack the feet. Okay, this one's a little harder. Option 3, just like we just did in the plank, maybe lift one knee up. This one's going to be testing your balance now. Lift that top knee up. Good, bring it back down. Go ahead and take a rest. Before we go to the other side, relax back into child's pose. Nice job, let's keep it going. Come on forward, lift those hips. Again, 4 lifts. 1, take it slow. 2, 3, and right side, 4. Right hand comes to the center here. Now again, you can stack the feet. You can bring that lower leg down if you need a bit of a rest, some help. But try, if you bring the lower leg down, to still keep a lot of the weight in the arm. Try not to press too hard into the leg. Okay, or come in to your full side plank. Arm can be up, arm can be forward. Try and squeeze with the side abs up, 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 okay? So you're almost arching with that upper body. And then option to lift the top leg. Squeeze, even pressing into the side of the hips here can help. And bring it back. Good job. Rest down. Take a mini break. A couple deep inhales and exhales in child's pose. Good job. Relax. So what's important with the core is we're using just what we need really in a yoga practice. We will train it a little bit later, but in those pose holds, we want to just use what we need. Because yoga can be quite intense if it's like for an hour or an hour and a half long practice. We only want to kind of press as much as we need and reserve our energy throughout, else we'll start losing the pose integrity towards the end of the practice, which is natural anyway, but can help to just learn how to use the right amount of core, and it helps you build connection with your own body as well. Good. Come forward from here. Bring those elbows down one more time. This time, the left elbow to the left fingers point towards the right side of the mat. Lift up one more time, side plank. Okay, but this time low side plank. Elbow should be right underneath the shoulder. Try and bring both shoulder blades onto your back so they're kind of stacking. You're not like leaning forward. This should be the same in the other version of the plank. Squeeze the hips up, don't let them dip. Other side, again, you can bring that bottom knee down if you need a little more support, okay? Squeeze the hips up. Squeeze, squeeze, shoulder blades stack on the body. Hips try and stay neutral as well. And bring it back to the middle, good. Gently lower yourself down. Coming into our Sphinx pose, we're gonna be doing this a lot in the challenge this year because it's such a good back bend. Even here, engage those core muscles, don't collapse, pull forward. Pull, pull, pull. All right, okay, let's work on the main kind of core. So we're gonna roll over here. So as if we're in like prepping for Savasana, but we're not doing that. And from here, we're going to add just a couple of gentle crunches. So part of the work of the abs is this crunching motion. Okay, and again, here we don't want the stomach to dome out. Try and pull it in, all right? Crunching motion. Okay, we're gonna be doing that. So interlace fingers behind your head. Bring the elbows to the side, deep breath in. On the exhale, crunch. Just lift those shoulder blades off the mat. Exhale to come back down. Crunch. And exhale. Good. Hold the breath. Exhale. Hold and lower. Inhale. Don't worry too much about the breath, but it can help define what feels good for you. For me, and for most people I find, is exhaling, then holding at the top, and lowering back down. Good. Okay, bring those hands next to the hips. From here, we're going to do help build the lower abs a little bit with the legs. So from here, all we're going to do is just bring those legs forward a little bit. See if you can keep the lower back on the mat. So that's what's important here. When building the core strength that we need for handstands and everything else, I want to try and keep that lower back on the mat as we lower the legs, okay? So find that point where the lower back stays on the mat, but it's a little hard. So my legs for now are going to be here. And then we're going to drop one leg. So the right leg comes all the way down, keep the lower back on the mat. Squeeze up, one. Left leg all the way down. Squeeze up, two. Try and keep those legs lower so they're being challenged. Right leg down, squeeze up. Left leg down, squeeze up. Good, two more. Right leg down, squeeze up. Left leg down, squeeze up. Good job. Bring those knees in. Take a mini break. So that then progresses into both legs, lowering all the way and lifting all the way up. But we're only going to be doing one leg at a time today. Good. All right, let's combine the two and add a little bit of rotation. So the spine also rotates. It's amazing for building strength in that range of motion. So from here, what we're going to do is again lift both legs up. Bend the left knee. Right leg comes down. Twist, crunch as you do this. Right elbow to right knee. Try not to move the arm too much. Try not to cheat too much. Just try and connect. Come back, normal. Connect, other side. Normal, connect. And keep swapping. For yogic bicycles, just do a couple more. Good, and release. Whew. Nice, so those are some really nice ways to gently get into your core strength for your yoga practice, for holds and stuff like that. So those are nice kind of entry level movements there. Okay, now from here, we're going to do one hollow body hold. So inhale. This is kind of mimicking almost a handstand. Or a headstand. We're gonna reach the arms overhead, okay? and we're gonna extend the legs out. So hold as long as you can. Try and keep that lower back on the mat. If you can't do it, bring the legs up higher. Okay, squeeze, pull the belly in, hold, and lift the head. 5 seconds. Bring it in. Whew, that's still hard for me. All right, good job. From here, let's roll it back over. We're gonna stretch out the core now, so bring those elbows right underneath the shoulders again for our Sphinx pose. Good, take a couple deep breaths in and out. Nicely done. We're almost done here. Good, exhale, bring those elbows to the side. Now on back day, we work on the back strength, but it is part of the course. We're gonna do one lift here. So on the inhale, actively engage the muscles, just kind of the opposite we just did, but for the back. So lifting the head, lifting the legs, looking forward, reaching the arms forward. Then hover the arms out to the side. Then squeeze the shoulder blades back in, place those hands down, deep breath in. Exhale, release all the way back. Finding your child's pose again. Good. Nice, all right. One more breath here. Good, all right, let's bring it forward. Lift those hips all the way up, downward dog. On the exhale, begin to walk the hands to the top of the mat, or walk the feet to the top of the mat. Halfway lift, those knees can be bent. Exhale, fold. Good, inhale, lift all the way up. Finding your mountain pose, first one of the day and last one of the day. Exhale, bring those hands into the chest. From here, just add a gentle twist. Open the arms to the side, twist the torso, keep the hips forward. If you want to add intensity, bring that right knee up. Twist out the spine just a little bit. And let's take it to the other side. Arms up on the inhale, exhale, palms together. Inhale, open. Good, bring up that left leg, right hand on to the left leg. If you want to add intensity, keeping a bend in the left knee. Nice twist, hips face forward. And bring it back down. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. From here, take a seat on the mat. And that can look whichever way for you. Does not have to be pretty, does not have to be perfect. Okay, good. So from here, we're gonna just work a tiny bit more into the core. So sit, take a seat, kind of sit back a little bit here. Maybe your stomach will try and dome out, try and pull it in again. Pull in deep core, okay? From here, shoulder blades wrap back, new pose now. And we're just gonna lift the legs. So this can be a little tricky, so go ahead and bounce off the feet till you find that point. Wherever you find a point of balance, just like we did on our standing day, that's the place you should be hovering, because from there you can build higher and higher. Just find that one point. Good, and hold, pull the stomach in, okay? Maybe play around with extending one leg, extending the other leg, if your hamstrings let you. If they don't, it's okay, just work on the balance. Work on bracing the core. Good, look a little further away. Make sure that chest is up. Nice and proud. Whew, and release, good job. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, extend the right leg. Take a twist towards the left. Bend that right elbow if you want. Inhale, lift through the chest. I really love twisting after a little bit of core work. One more breath. Good, Okay. Inhale, sit back, bring both knees in. We're gonna lift one more time. Exhale, inhale, lift. Good job, hold. Chest nice and proud. And release. Bend that right knee. Let's twist to the right this time. Arm can be extended, but a little bit of a bend in the left elbow is good. Press the right knee into the left elbow. Try not to let it push in. Opposing forces here. Lift nice and tall. All right, so from here, place those hands behind you. Let the legs extend out in front of you. This one is a bit of a, this one can be a little tricky. So from here, a little bit more upper body strength. We're gonna slightly bend into the elbows, press into the ground and lift the hips up. So try and make sure the wrists are underneath the shoulders. It's a little tricky to see and feel, but just press upwards, micro bend in the elbows. Press, press, press. Good. And lower back down, nice. It gets a little bit of a stretch along the front of the shoulders as well, or gives a little bit of one. Nice, from here, inhale, lift the arms up, exhale, bend the right elbow and bring that palm towards the back. Then press the right arm backwards. Teeny bit of arm stretch. Good. And other side, inhale, left arm up, bend the left elbow, bring that palm down. Bend the knees here if you want to. Whew. Good, all right. So from here, if you have a strap, go ahead and grab that. If you have a jiu-jitsu belt, if you have a towel or a robe, that can also work. If you don't have any of those, that's okay as well. Just gonna open or lift and lower the arms if you don't have one, okay? So if you do have one, try and find the right width. We're just gonna work a teeny bit more into the upper body mobility because that goes hand in hand with the strength. So grab a little bit, so almost double your shoulder width distance. If it's starting from the middle, we're gonna add like another chunk and maybe a little more just to start. And we're going to add a couple shoulder dislocates, these are called. So find that good width. If it feels too easy, bring the hands in further. If it feels too hard, bring the hands out wider. You should get a gentle stretch along the front of the body and start to move the arm through the full range of mobility, range of motion. Nice. You can begin to link your breath, a couple more. Good, last one. Nice, release, and we're gonna head into Savasana. So that's a very gentle introduction to the core. As you practice more yoga, thinking about which ways you're using the core, which ways you're engaging it, whether it's side plank, whether it's a hold, whether it's pulling in the spine for stability. Thinking about how you're using it can help you to prepare properly for a pose, to get better at a pose, and can help just improve the strength overall. Good, bring the palms next to the hips, walk the feet out. Good, okay. So I don't know if I've explained it before, but Savasana is kind of there to still the body and the mind after we've done all that movement. It's there to calm you down. The movement is meant for the Savasana, so it feels extra good, so it helps to really ground you and calm you and let the entire practice sink in. So when you're ready, close the eyes and we'll do 5 soothing breaths here today. And make sure now the core is entirely relaxed. You're breathing into the stomach. There's no tension, no limitations, or no limiting of those deep breaths due to your core. Good. Take your 5 deep breaths, slow exhales. Good. 1 or 2 more breaths. And from here, add movement back into the fingers if you're ready to come out. Reach the arms overhead, interlace the fingers, flip the palms, 1 more deep stretch. The core and the upper body, point the toes, and exhale, bring those hands down, turn on to one of your sides. And come on out. Good. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale to bow down. And we'll finish there. So thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you in 2 days for the next one. Tomorrow is breathwork. Okay, I'll see you then.